from the polling booth must be transmitted via online to the server of INEC. And then thereafter, after the election, the opposition party, especially the Labour Party, were of the opinion that the election was rigged, and the only way they could verify the authenticity of the content of what was actually done at the polling unit was to go to the server. The access to the server was denied, and those are all the arguments around the old acts. This new act was supposed to be a development, an addendum, and an improvement to what we have in the other old acts. And now that improvement is that now both the House of Representatives and the Senate and even the National Assembly in general have agreed, and it's in that act that there should be transmission. This is not to say there is no transmission, like every other people have the wrong impression that they don't want the result to be transmitted. The act states that there should be transmission of the election result from the form EC 8A directly to the server of INEC. This is for record purpose and for accountability. But the question here is, when should that transmission be done? Instantly after the voting of the election, that's the real time, or later when the facility is when the presiding officer or probably the electoral officer that is in charge has the opportunity or the facility and the time to do the transmission. That's the bone of the contention, if I'm not mistaken. And since the act says, okay, in a situation where the transmission is not visible, the old form, the manually written signed form by the agent that was to be transmitted should be used. I don't know why people are afraid or probably not happy about this section of the amendment. I think okay, are we saying now that in case we send anything to the net, and after the sending it to the net, we now don't have a record, a manual record again of what was sent to the net? In case, let me tell you, and for the benefit of those people that are listening to what you are saying at home, that as I speak to you today, there are still some communities in Nigeria that I can boldly tell you where there are no networks for transmission. In fact, I just remember this that because I traveled to Kogi State last year for a particular wedding, and we were there for 2 days without our phone working. It was when we walked out of the town after the wedding that messages that were already piled up on the net were coming into our on our phones. So it will surprise you to know that we still have some communities, local areas, inside areas where there's no network till today. Now, are we now saying between now and 2027 election, network providers should go to all those areas and fix those facilities? If we have everything on ground that will ensure the smooth transmission and which will be 100%, then I would say that this is a robbery on the part of the people. But the clause did not say they should not transmit. It's only saying that in cases of places where the transmission will be ineffective or probably not possible, then the old form should be used. And I don't think there's anything wrong in that. It's just a provision for eventualities in case the transmission were not able to be done on the real time as soon as the election is concluded. And I don't think it's anything bad.
Thank you very much. And that was the voice of Dr. Olaifa from Al-Hikmah University here in Ilorin. Just about the time he was making his submission, February Bello Yesbait from the University of Ilorin walked in. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Omoshewo.
You're welcome.
Our dear listeners at home, kindly pardon my lateness. It's due to unforeseen circumstances.
You're welcome.
Now that I'm here.
The road was not transmitted to the
You're welcome, sir. And then I will take me directly to Yesbait this morning, and we're looking at Tinubu signs electoral bill amid controversy. What is your reaction?
Thank you very much. When I came in, I listened to my co-analyst, Dr. Olaifa, right?
Yes.
I want to a bit differ or try to digress, not to look at it at the peripheral, just like I've always said, look it holistically. The last election was 2023, 4 years after. If you recall, when President Muhammadu Buhari was on seat, this same proviso of the Electoral Act was in contention then. Electronic voting, electronic transmission. But We said we were not there then. That okay, we all say I'm a Muslim, alhamdulillah, that they even came up with statement like this. Pre-2023, there were no statement like this. Pre-2015, there were no statement like this that electronic transmission, electronic vote. Now that the statement have come up, I expect that a serious nation should have put more efforts to make it workable. I think I've said it here and I've said it on several sister radio that the policies are there. The implementability is the problem. I've known that INEC is saddled with the voting and the transmission of results. What should have been done since after 2023? INEC should know that by now, after an election, they should not just go and sit down and feel we will rejuvenate a year to another election. You have been using electronic voting. We have been voting somehow electronically because at least for you to vote at any polling unit, you must be verified. And some of these things they have been using machine in one way or the other. Now we are talking about electronic transmission. There are some villages that you came to as an INEC official. Why do you think they give reports? For every unit, there should be a report. In the village where as a PO or as a supervisor that I'm taking to, there's no network, so that INEC could bring all these reports together.
And work with it.
Work with it before the next election, which is 4 years. At the end of the day, you see humongous budget from INEC in billions, in trillions, and you ask yourself, what is the essence of these millions and trillions? In 21st century, we cannot transmit the result of an election, such that it's now become a clause that we use electronic voting, electronic transmission, but in the event of no network, why should we be talking of no network in 21st century? One, INEC knew that there were no, that was the same case they gave to President Muhammadu Buhari gave them. If you recall, talking about network or no network. At the end of every exercise as an academician, at the end of every conference as an academician, at the end of every program as an academician that I am, fortunately INEC have been partnering with academics in recent times. Give a report. Work with that report. Don't let the report sleep. Because INEC has made the reports to sleep. Or perhaps they do not give a concise report. Villages. INEC is also a focal part of our democracy. A compromised INEC is a compromised democracy. A compromised democracy is a non-working Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. That was the voice of Dr. Kaburi Gasbis from the University of Ilorin. You're just joining us. This is Standpoint on 98.5 Emirate FM. In the studio this morning, I have Dr. Olaifa from Al-Hikmah University in Ilorin, and also have Dr. Kaburi Gasbis from the University of Ilorin. We're looking at issues surrounding the endorsement of the electoral bill by the president yesterday. Quickly, we have seen reactions and of course counter reactions from this particular signature that the president did yesterday over this bill. Already the PDP is reacting. I'll come to you, yes, because I know I can see something I'm not seeing. And surely our listeners are not seeing it. Okay, so Doctor, the PDP came out yesterday to say that they described the amendment, the signature, the signing of that particular amendment as a betrayal of the electorate.
Like I said the other time, Dr. Yes, Dr. Yasby is one of those youths that have the energy to always go back to our problems. But when these problems are not solved, what do? Do you know, pick up from where you are? Everything is said about what should be is what should be. The last time I came here, I was saying that the amount of money allocated for electioneering from that 2000 and was it
11?
The last election 2023, yes, till now, is enough to fix all these electoral issues. But because nobody is asking for accountability on the part of this INEC. Right now, we are talking about the situation we are right now. The election is just in probably less than a year, or probably a year or some months, because of this 360 turn to 300. Now, we are saying election in a year. I want to ask him a question. Can we have everywhere electronic fixed in everywhere for use of this coming election within this 1 year. Something that was not done since 2023. This is what that should be. But as we are talking now, this electoral act is talking about the election to be held by next year. I don't see the electronic transmission happening everywhere in Nigeria. That is not to say it cannot happen. At least we used it in the last election, and some areas were transmitted. Here in Tanke, where I footed, we were there to ensure that the presiding officer did the needful. But you see, I am saying it that by experience, as a teacher who used to go to villages for supervision of my students, as an MC that used to travel to a lot of places for ceremonies, I have seen different places, not far from this Kwara State, where there are no networks for transmission. Now, the issue is between now and that election time, what is the probability that the government will fix it? This is what should have been done that has not been done. Now we want to go to the election. Are we saying we should wait or postpone the election from 2027 to 2028 so that we have enough time to do the fixing? Now what the act is saying is, in case, see, people are always saying they don't want to transmit. No. The act is not saying there should not be transmission, please. It's saying that in case the transmission of the result is not possible, the manual from EC8A should be used, which is okay. I was saying that once there is no transmission of that result, then the election should be jettisoned. I mean, we should just do away with it. The act is saying where there is no. I know this is a hole. I mean, a loophole that this so-called politicians can take advantage of. That I know. But on the paper, as it is, the law is clear about it. If the transition is not possible, go for alternative means so that we can ensure that whatever votes that people have done will still count. Let's use the manner where there's no. So I don't see it as except the PDP may understand the other thing that some of us don't understand. Like I said the other time, the PDP and the ADP are the same thing. They know how they manipulate elections and they know how to do those things together. And now that they are not in power, they can see loopholes where APC may want to do something. Maybe there's something they are not telling us. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything too difficult about using an alternative manner when the electronic is not available.
Thank you very much. That was the voice of Dr. Olaifa there giving his submission as regards to the reaction coming from the PDP. Dr. Yesbe, before you go on, can you answer the question? True to you,
yes, absolutely. You should know me before now. Well, let me start from the rear. Whether it's a PDP, APC, ADC affair, it's not the affairs of any political party. It's the affairs of Nigerians, of an electorate. That you recall there was a program here where we were talking about sensitization of people to go and get their PVC.
Yes,
you can now see where people are getting demoralized because of the previous experiences.
Yes,
when Obasanjo was president.
Answer the question.
Yes, I'm coming.
Please,
yes,
I want you to answer the question from.
It's more important because everything you are saying, I'm supposed to talk notice.
Yes, I will answer the question.
Okay, good.
In 1 year, it's possible. Absolutely possible.
Okay.
How many years did it take Dangote to create a refinery?
Okay.
A single 1 year. Kenya is not as big as Nigeria.
No, did you say Dangote is 1 year?
Yes. No. Watch, go and fact check that.
No.
Please, don't take us down.
I'm coming. That's one.
Okay.
Secondly, during Ebola and COVID-19 days, how many months did it take us, all the world, to get the vaccine for Ebola and COVID-19?
Okay.
It take them more than 6 months. So, if the money is available, which we know is 100%.
Where's the money?
Now, I'm coming. You ask me where's the money? Wow. Okay, no problem. If the money is available, which we all know is available, one, INEC is not just one man mopo. INEC, there is national INEC, there is state INEC, there is local government INEC, there is ward INEC. So let them do it in terms of that hierarchy. Ward INEC, go to where you are covering. Let us know what is the issue. Work with them. It's not as if they will be working from Abuja at the national headquarters. Just like we have the APC, the PDP, they have the national, they have the state, they have the zonal, they have the local, they have the world, even to the point of pulling units. So all of these things are just too simple. If we actually have the I can do spirit of Nigeria.
That's the point. If.
So why are they not having the I can do spirit? If they can have there can do it spirit to squander our money.
Okay.
If there can do it spirit to jettison what is required, so why can't they have their can do spirit to make Nigeria have the interest in the election and electioneering processes? You said that was where I was going to before you and Dr. Olafa come back. Okay. You were the one who advised us to sensitize Nigeria to go get voters cards. Yes, then when activities, when issues, when discussions, when actions and inactions of the umpire of the government is speaking north, and some people are going west, and you want us to call them to come back to north. No, you have to show people that you are actually serious. There is this Yoruba adage that says, when God sees you, let the people also seize you. Tọ́lọ̀ ń bá ń rí ẹ, jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn náà rí ẹ. If you are doing things in good faith, if it's America is 100% sane too, but there are some countries that we learn this democracy from. If they are the one that comes out and say we are changing the clause, that if the electronic transmission is not working, the alternative is manner. Majority of America may not shout because they believe in the electoral umpire is to some reasonable extent. But because of the experiences we have been having right from Obasanjo, the professor, until date, was why if any itch comes up, people will give it different answers. It's not about PDP or APC or ADC or what have you. It's about Nigerians. So I still believe 360, 300 days is actually 100% possible. 100% possible. The finances are there. We are not like the Benin Republic. I'm sorry, but even the Benin Republic not there, they do not have the finances. The finances are there.
Dr. Edwin, before you go,
sorry,
no, I will allow you to do that. I just want to ask you one thing. You keep saying the finances are there. You're part of. You know everything about the finances.
Let me give you why I said the finances are there.
Okay.
The first subsidy removal that the president has been portioned into different states. What have we got at the end of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is almost to the tail end of his 4 years, and he has removed subsidy right from day one. 4 years. What have the subsidy removal money been able to do? If the money is not there, INEC every 4 years will give budget of billions, and the money will be available. We have seen cases of snakes swallowing millions. We have seen cases of senators, National Assembly, and governors unaccountable. Governors will go on with 900 million security votes. Are you the one, is Emirate FM the one paying governors security votes of 900 million? No. We have seen federal allocation increase in the last 2 years compared to where we are coming from. Where we are coming from, we are still criticizing them that the money was available. Let alone when the money has now skyrocketed more than 300%. So what are we saying?
Doctor,
let me allow Doctor.
Well, I think your spirit is that of the modern youths who want things done instantly, and I love it. Do you now know, sir, with all due respect to you, sir, that this country where we are, the problem we have is that we don't address the real issues. Instead, we go to issues that are not that important because we want to drive home our point. Let me give you instances. Just from what you said, sir, there is money in this country, and you know it. The amount of money allocated previously to electioneering, especially this coming 2027 election in the budget since that of the last election, is enough to fix all these problems. And these problems are not fixed, and the money has been allocated. Who are those people asking questions? Who are those people, demanding for accountability? We are not asking questions. We are not saying why is INEC not making sure that we have electronics that can do the transmission, because it was an issue in the previous election. Now 4 years passed and the issue has not still been addressed. We are only talking about that portion of the act that is saying that there should be the use of an alternative means to ensure that people's votes count. That is where I am going. I am not opposed to the issue of transmission. In fact, transmission will make transparency more glaring. Let me tell you, I have experience one time when I was I have the privilege of being in a particular environment where election was conducted, and I waited from the beginning to the end. After the election, all the party agents were to sign. That local government was a small, that town was a small town. I don't want to mention it, a very small town. In that town, there's a polling unit. Let's assume the vote in the polling booth is 500. All those people that came out for the voting were just about 36 in the whole town, and they have about 460 something or 450 something votes left. So all of them gathered and they said, if we continue to vote like this with this number, the tendency of INEC joining us with the next village is high. We have to cover up this vote so that they assume that the number of people in this village is enough to cover this polling booth. So all the party agents agreed that the vote that has been casted is enough to determine the winner, but the rest should be shared among them. Are you there with me, sir? That the rest should be shared among them so that they won't waste the vote for the sake of the retaining the polling unit. When this post was shared, according to, they shared it equally in the numbers of those agents that were there standing for their parties. At the end of the day, all of them decided to do the manipulation and they did the voting by themselves and put it in the polling booth. When it was time to count, it was now discovered that, I don't want to mention names of party now, that one particular party has almost 2/3 or very more than 2/3 of the votes, meaning that those that stood in for other party as their agents gave their votes willingly to one party, because in the first place it's either they are not representing that party in real sense, or they don't want to also lose out in their vote from the center point. They always say this, that if a town is voting against the government in power, for example, the governorship election has been done and the governor has been determined, they now want to do local government election. You want to vote where the governor's party is not there for their mind for what they think they want to give. They now voted for that man. I was now asking myself this question: will electronic means beat this system? This has nothing to do with what was but people that were in the process of that election. They were the one that manipulated the process. They were the one that killed the process. It's not because of the transmission alone. That's why I said sometimes those things that are very important as well electionally, we leave them alone and we go to other things. That's why I was talking about PDP, that this same party were also like this when APC was there, and I was always saying it on radio that you guys are the same. So if they are talking now, I don't want people to hear it, that they are complaining. This is the same thing they were doing during their own time too.
Thank you very much. That was the samplings coming from Dr. Olaifa this morning. And Dr. Lesbit, I know you want to react.
Yes, Dr. Olaifa. You see, the fact that somebody had done it yesterday and he did it very wrong is not an impetus.
I'm not saying
Secondly, the issue at hand, electronic transmission alternatively manual, majority of people do not have issues with it, because the state where Nigeria is now, because things are not done right, there are some locals, rurals that do not have network access there. But what we are saying is this: why are we where we are?
The question is what is
secondly, how many people
we
are asking ourselves, Nigerians.
Okay.
Now the second question is this: why are people afraid? Not PDP, not APC, not ADC.
So
Nigerians. I'm coming to this one because I will respond.
I can see why you are.
I'm coming. I will. Madam Omoshewo said.
I'm not a party member.
No,
so
I'm coming.
I'm
coming, man. Now, why are people afraid? APC, PDP, ADC. That is not even the issue. Nigerians are afraid because of the several manipulations that have been encountered in the previous years
by all parties.
Leave all parties.
All parties.
If all parties,
including PDP, including APC,
my doctor, you see,
this is my opinion.
My challenge with you is that you are thinking this issue is a party.
No.
There are some people that are not in any political party that are Nigerians.
I am one. What I'm saying
is, when we were talking, I kept quiet. I intentionally kept quiet while we were talking.
I don't just want you to give people wrong impression about what I mean. I am not against PDP and I'm not against APC. In fact, I'm not against any party and I don't go for any party. My point is just that anytime we want to do issues, don't let us pick trivial issues for the sake of politicking to now be using it to buy, what's it called, sympathies from people. And that's exactly the statement the PDP made. I am not talking about PDP particularly. It was because Mrs. Omoshewo said PDP said.
Yes,
that's why I was
PDP
holding
said.
them. So it's not
PDP said, and I know that we are going to get the actions of other parties too as well.
They said PDP said. That's what I'm talking
Dr.
about.
Lifa,
Yes,
I
I
have
can go ahead.
just said now.
You can go ahead, but
Let
I'm not
us
talking about
leave
PDP.
APC, PDP, or what have you. Let us look at the Omoluabi doctrine of our system.
Of course, that's
It is the Omoluabi doctrine of the system of where we learn democracy from that is making that democracy work to some sinner extent. It is the Omoluabi doctrine we are talking about now. We are talking as in Nigerians. Because I am not invited here as a PDP or an APC member, I am invited as Bilola Mika Kabir in Nigeria. Now, why are people shouting about this proviso of the electoral act?
We see people who are not partisan.
Yes, not partisan. But why are they shouting? It's not because that proviso is something that has not been had on before. We have used it in 2015.
No.
But why people are shouting is because they have lost trust in the system.
See,
Continuously. Now, he will continue to talk as much as things have not been done. He will continue to talk. Even the Quran and the Bible that was created even before my father and great-great-grandfather, if any child is born tomorrow, it will still read that part of the Bible, Quran, that there's one prophet that did this, there's one man that, even 15 years to come, if the world has not gone to it, that is to tell you that we will still continue to talk, because Quran will continue to talk, continue to speak to unborn child. So we will continue to emulate such by still saying our own part. Professor Olede, the Jam Registrar, said, as Nigerians, clean some part of your room. Omoshewo will clean a part of your room. Dr. Lifa, clean part of your room. At the end of the day, you see that single room that we are, the part where you are, will eventually become clean. So in cleaning, I cannot take care to beat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I cannot go and use police to arrest him. We will continue to talk to advise
yes,
such that they listen to the voice of Nigerians. That is what we are saying. Now, if this, they ought to have done it and they are not doing it, must you now keep quiet?
I'm not saying we should.
So that's why. So it's not. Now, if at the end of the day,
I'm not saying
the popular candidate, the accepted candidate, eventually get rolled out of the system process because of maneuvering, it will end up becoming the challenge of you and I and our
that's the truth.
That is what we are saying. So we need to continue to sensitize and talk.
Hello, Doki, I'm 100% with you on this. But you see, maybe you did not hear the question that was asked. What you heard was my response. That was why you are reacting this way. She asked me a direct question that the PDP uttered a statement that this is you used one word.
I said that it was a betrayal.
It's a betrayal
for the electorate.
For the electorate. This is the PDP voice now that I picked. What I'm saying is electioneering and every activities in this country is a process. And there's no way the process can come up instantly and be a perfect one. Even in a advanced country, they are still going through processes in election.
But my challenge is
wait, sir.
You said electioneering is a process.
Everything is a process.
Yes, but
and
for how many years?
No, see.
We have had election, a credible, transparent, and saner election in 1993.
Without electorate.
I'm coming, sir. When the eyes was covered.
Without electorate.
I'm coming, sir. When the eyes was covered. Should you not? We have had election in 1993.
Okay.
That was adjudged the freest and the transparent election. 1993. A child, a boy, or a girl born in 1993 should be in his husband or wife house today. So that is to tell you the extent of the years. 1993 till date, we are still rolling in one place. Little wonder, Donald Trump said, Africa is a shit old country. I went for that to read the statement. He said it is only in Africa. He did not mention any country. He said only in Africa. They come every 4 years and use the same thing to campaign. Road. 1993. We are still using free and credible election. We are still here. Since 1993. So why are we not going to talk? That you are saying it cannot get done in a day. That you are saying it cannot get done in a day. Why can't it get done in a day? How many days? Yoruba says if we use 10 years to plan for lunacy. How many years are we going to spend on that lunacy?
Thank you very much.
You are not getting my point, Doctor. And it's still an issue for me that you are not getting me.
Okay, Doctor.
You did not hear me say we should not talk. You did not hear me say this is not people's voice. But you are insinuating me from my statement. I am saying that as it's condition that we are right now, sir. The condition that we are right now with the technology advancement level that we have, it's unfortunate that we did not grow as expected. Very unfortunate, just like your submission is unfortunate. But as we are, if we want to conduct this election, the truth that I believe is that if APC will lose, of course they will lose in some quarters, they will still lose. People are no longer, foolish to the extent of allowing you to steal their vote. For those people that are conscious about election and want to go out to vote, they are not going out to vote only, they are going out to vote and protect their vote. That's why all this voice about electronic is important, but I don't want us to exercise it. That's why I'm saying that even before the electronic, we use manual. That election we are talking about in 1983, there was no single electronic process in it, and we still adjudge it to be the best. So it is the people that I'm particular about now, not the transmission of the electronics. If everybody would do everything like, just like you were making an illustration of sweeping the room, that is doing what is expected of you, things will go ahead. Are you saying that the electronics transmission does not have its own side effects too? This last election, some group of people were intercepted and they were saying that they were waiting for that thing to be transmitted on the net and they were ready to hijack it. So everything is a process and it cannot just start one day. Our process may be slow, but I want to believe that at least no matter how small, there are levels of development, there are levels of improvement. We may not want this space. This space may be too slow for us, but I'm saying that instead of us now crying out when the praise starts and it is supposed to be on fasting, we will now sit down and wait until the result of that development comes. We will now be shouting and be saying we want to. Why can't we come out since last year or this 2 years ago to say that what is the level of development that INEC have put in place?
Well, we have been doing that.
How many people? That's the question. Look at the volume of people that are
calling. A lot of people have been doing that.
Can you compare with the volume of people that are calling for transmission now?
Because when they saw the
transmission, that's what we are saying.
Well, my candid advice is this.
That's what we are saying.
Madam Omoshewo.
Yes, sir.
Myself and Dr. Olaifa will continue to have this hot argument from now till heaven. But this is my candid advice. The fear of the umpire, the fear of the government is why people are shouting. It's not as if what has been assented to is something that is. But because of previous experiences. Now, to avert previous experiences, the advice to Nigeria: stay with your vote, move with your vote. Stay with your vote, move it. Stay with your vote at the polling unit. When the supervisors are going to the ward to deliver,
follow them.
Such that what you have assented to as agents
is what they are submitting.
Is what they are submitting, and it's also what will be announced at the ward price. But having said that, we need to move forward. Quick one. On the cap, you can see. You see, you have said it. Don't look at the peripheral. Get your PVC. Is on the cap. You are the one who advised me.
Yes, I did.
That we should sensitize people to get PVC.
Yes, I did.
Without prejudice to who gave me the cap.
No.
Without prejudice to who gave me the cap.
No.
The PVC, get your PVC should be the real deal. Someone is giving you something for free.
Okay.
And you tell the person, I don't want this, I want that.
It's quite interesting here in the studio. Of course, I know my listeners are not saying what is on the cap, but it's making reference. This is like here.
You and Dr. Lapa, you are indicting me seriously. You are indicting me.
Honestly, my hands are clean. This is like here. The voice of the people. Like you rightly said, and I did, irrespective of where the noise is coming from, irrespective of who the preacher is. Let's listen to the preach. Go and get your PVC. If you're Nigerian, that is very primary and it is important. So forget where it is coming from or who the messenger is. Go and get your PVC. Your PVC. Okay. Yes, this is like here for Emirate FM. The program is Standpoint. In the studio this morning, I have Dr. Olaifa from a lecturer at Al-Ikima University. I also have Kabir Yazbit from the University of Ilorin. We've been looking at issues and regards a lot of controversy about the signed bill yesterday by the president.
You didn't even talk about a part of the signed bill, aside from the electronic transmission.
I was going to get to that.
Okay.
Yes, I was going to get to that. I'm talking about vote buying. Is that what you
want to do? The president assented to that another provision 60 section 2, where he autocratically assented to a direct primary. I think there's a provision of the electoral that also speaks that no government can dictate to political parties. They should have their internal mechanistic approach. But now,
it has been signed. It has to be direct,
has to be direct.
or
There are two options there.
he said that's what direct
Or concession.
No,
Concession.
concession.
Yes,
so
concession.
you should leave political parties to determine whether that, because that direct also have the
It
pro.
was already a signed bill.
That is what I'm saying. That
It's
why you can see why people are now raising eyebrow. That what do you mean? Leave direct, indirect, or consensus to be determined by the political party.
Do you know the excuse given by the president? He said we should avoid hacking. That is one of the reasons.
No, we are not even talking of electronic now.
Electronic now.
Direct,
The
the
direct
indirect,
one.
and consensus.
Maybe I should explain
Now,
it.
the direct, there's what we call delegate system at the level of primary.
The primaries.
Yes, for the primary.
No.
Now, the indirect is delegate.
That's the delegate.
Why the direct is up now in this insecurity era?
Yes, babe.
You know, when you have, let's use Kwara for example, the Metropolitan Square along Asadam. If that place APC is coming there or PDP is coming there or any other party, they come there in more than hundreds of thousands. If it's a direct.
Then must they do the election on a single point? The election we do in Nigeria, we don't do it in a single point. We delineate words and we do it and we collate it. That's what. Excuse me, sir. That's what is bringing. Let me speak. That's what is bringing this issue of, transmitting or not transmitting. We want transmission, nationally, but within the party, we want to do it on a single spot. Why? See, the essence of it. That's why I said sometimes when we want to criticize one aspect, we can't just look at one side of it alone. There's no policy. Let me just establish this fact. There's no policy that will be done in the whole world that will not have the better side and the ugly side. Now, the question is, which one do you consider as more important or probably more advantage than the other one? That's the other one that we want to
Lifa, maybe you are not getting my point.
I'm not talking about wait now. Wait. There are three systems already in the Electoral Act. Okay. The essence of what we call that I used to look at people when they say there will be a renew or probably change in something. When there's going to be change in something, that means circumstances and situations must have overturned some events. Then you want to give a new look to that thing. If you want to give a new look to things, it means there are some aspect that has to change. That's exactly what we mean by change. If that aspect has to change, then alteration has to be done to it. Whether something is deducted or another thing is added. In that section, there are three ways to select. For party primaries. Is either it's direct, that is, all party members come to exercise their right by voting for the candidate they want. That is direct. The other one is when each of the sections will have to choose somebody to stand in for them as delegate. It is that delegate that will now go and vote on behalf of these people. That is an indirect one. Abi? Now, the third one is concession, that there will be no election, but the party members will come to an agreement. All the candidates will step down for themselves, and then one of them will just emerge. Simple. And that's just like agreement between all of them. Concession. Now, the act is saying that of the delegates should be scrapped. I know there are so many reasons that will be behind this, but I am not just comfortable with the reason you gave that they shouldn't have erased that. The reason you gave is that for security reasons, going to a particular place for all candidates to vote directly can be dangerous, especially in this security era.
You only pick one of the two reasons.
One. That's the one I have problem with. That's the one I have problem with. And
the first one I talked about.
That's the one I have problem with.
The president should not
interfere in
the internal politics.
I don't have issues with that. But the one I am not comfortable with is the one you said.
Doctor, but don't you think what he said is very important? That the president is not supposed to interfere.
There can be rules, and rules have to be followed. You can't leave them all absolute freedom. There's no absolute freedom anywhere in the world. There will still be rules.
I totally disagree.
That's why I didn't say anything about that.
I totally disagree on that.
The other side,
even where we lack the democracy from, even where we have the Democrats, we have the Republican in USA. No government. No government.
Yes, you have your peace. Let him finish.
Doki, I will give you time to talk, please, so that we'll learn from each other. That other aspect that I'm talking about is when you are giving an excuse of the security. Perfect. That's going there to vote is dangerous. especially with these security challenges that we have in the country. Common sense will support this your argument very well. But the question I'm asking is, must we have primary elections of political parties in a single place? The election we do for senators, for House of Assembly members, for governors, for this thing is not done in a single place. If we don't do that in a single place, then there's no reason why all of us must gather in a place for primary election. Let's do it word by word, send the results, collate it, let parties do the electronic transmission from their phone to the national headquarters. Let them do the internal election within themselves and see how easy it is before they start saying that something will happen.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
I don't have any issue.
I'm
with
happy.
that.
I'm happy when we started.
I don't have any issue.
I'm
with
happy
that.
when we started.
I don't have any
Okay.
issue.
You did not see any itch with electronic transmission.
I don't know. No.
If INEC
Till now.
cannot do electronic
Till now.
transmission,
Let's try it with
political
the
parties
Yes, them try
and
it.
the primaries,
Yes.
how do you blame them
Let
for
them
not
try-
doing
no, let them
electronic?
try it.
I'm coming, sir. I think I'm also on mic now.
You
How
got the mic now,
if you do not want to accept INEC
Okay.
with the extent without, extremely well, 100% well without that any individual political parties could not do it, why do you now blame your own son or daughter from misbehaving? If you the father, you are misbehaving. One. Secondly, there is nowhere in the world where government interfere in the affairs of political parties. Whether they will do it at each ward and send the result, it should be left to the party to decide that, not the government. I'm coming, sir. I'm coming. That is why there's internal democracy, internal party democracy. Let them decide.
There are always rules.
No,
Doctor,
whatever
please let
whatever rules the
There
government
are
is
always
bringing.
rules. You can't leave parties to determine
Doctor, you asked me
themselves.
to calm down so that we can
You did
learn
not
from
calm
each
down during my
other.
time too.
So kindly calm down now.
Okay.
Now, for political parties, when government are making rules, they have to be very careful. That is why they have SA political, SA legal, minister of
SA media.
SA media. No, even legal. They also have minister in charge of legal and law. So to advise them so that we have lesser court cases in terms of election and because of these court cases, you will see that our election in the 36 states is not the same. Adeleke will do that before the general election.
Of course.
So all of these legal tussles can be reduced such that INEC will now be spending twice. You get, they will have budget for some states, another budget comes. So if you look at the other consequences, when we want to make rules or policies, we should look at the pro and the con. I expect that our government will not tweak without provision or let party decide. When party decide, let the membership of the party accept. If they do not accept, let them go to court within themselves. Now, one. Secondly, whether party want to do maybe for instance primary for governor, whether they choose to do it, if people from the world do submit your results, people from the local government do submit your results, then they now collate. It is a decision that should be made by the party.
Let me ask you a question.
Now, thirdly, which is the challenge?
This question is important.
Thirdly, which is a challenge, is that why people are afraid of sending results. The people that are the player in the INEC election are the same player in the primary election. So if they can manipulate at the INEC election, they can as well manipulate at the primary election.
Okay,
now the fear, I'm coming, man. The fear now is manipulation. They all want to come together. Let's do it and see with our eyes. So in a situation where they want to come together, and the country where we are now, the height of insecurity is another challenge. So that is why it is left for the party to decide which one they want to do. There are some parties that do not have the financial capacity to go and do it in word. So they rather prefer to come to. So that is why I say let political party choose the one that befits them
Instead of the pronoun. Okay, what do you
Well,
want to ask a question? You wanted to ask Doctor.
Well, doctor is not. Doctor is he has faced tanke, and
He has faced tanke.
Bringing.
I hope you actually know the meaning of face tanke.
Not in that context. Okay, let me tell you. You have faced tanke. Bringing you down to Bosobi area will be difficult.
Okay.
And I hope one-on-one me and you.
It's actually not difficult.
But wait, sir. Let's look at it from this angle. You see, direct election where delegates.
No, Doctor, before we continue, I'm not saying
Wait.
the pro and the cons of these three.
direct, indirect, or consensus. You know, you have the practice. But what I'm saying is, let the political party decide their choice.
Okay.
Initially, before now, okay, that will now make, now that you understand that even the direct election, I mean, direct election is better than that of the day.
I have not said that.
Oh,
I said both direct, indirect, and consensus have their pro and cons.
Okay, sir. Now, on that note, I will not go where I'm going again because you just saved my time. Now, if they say delegate system should be erased, this is not a law that is made for a single party. This is the law that is made for all parties involved. And you said they should have allowed the parties to determine on their own.
What they want to do.
My point is that parties have been deciding on their own. It is an act that needed to be amended. And the amendment is saying do not decide on your own on this aspect anymore. So that there will be only two options. All those wait, don't forget, doctor, that those that did this decision, that made this decision, they are also delegates of people in the National Assembly. They are also speaking on behalf of people.
I'm not wasting
and they must have considered the pros and the cons before coming up with that amendment. You know, we call it amendment. Everything cannot continue to go the same way. Just like you said, we have done this thing on and on without election, we should do the right thing. Everything cannot continue the same way. The word amendment means adjustment of what is on ground for a better reason. So that's why I say you should not condemn that.
Alright, doctor.
Yes, sir.
Do you know
that during this deliberation at the National Assembly, 19 senators move out?
Well,
do you know why they walked out?
that's normal thing.
Because they were not carried along. Anything that involve political parties, before it is assented or before it is finally given approval, call political parties together.
Whether
I'm coming, sir. You know, you
ask me a question that do I know that they worked out?
No, I'm not. It's a rhetorical question that is not calling for response.
Okay.
When these issues were being deliberated, 19 senators, not only PDP, ADC is also inclusive, they walked out of the National Assembly because the minority will have their say and the majority will have their way. So they had the way, and that was why these people walked out. Now, when it comes to issues of political parties, that you know the provision is majorly concerning political parties. Are you not aware? I'm happy you are an academician. In the 21st century we are in Nigeria today, any vice chancellor, if the university wants to appoint vice chancellor and the presidency or the big wigs have interest in who becomes the vice chancellor, the eligibility criteria they will bring out, they work with the CV of the person they want to make the vice chancellor. So you understand what? Now the president, I'm coming, sir. The president that eventually assented to that part, they have used the CV of the APC to determine the provision of the Electoral Act. If not, if they know that what is obtainable for the APC may not be obtainable for the PDP, may not be obtainable for the ADC, they should have left that provision unchanged.
Okay, we don't have much time.
Let me respond.
We don't have much time.
Doctor, thank you so much for what you have said.
Okay.
But let me remind you also
Doctor,
that those that walked away,
minute.
yes, those that walked away, they are still they are still responsible to collective responsibility, whether they walk away or not. Because whatever is done in the National Assembly is still a collective responsibility for everybody. That's number one. Number two, sir, in the academics you are talking about, initially you know that if you want to choose who is going to be the HOD of the department, it's a departmental affair. Now, right now, the university authority will be the one to pick who is to be the HOD and install it on you. There's always a change in every process. Always. Always.
The university system. The university
you are not a member of the university.
I'm just giving a CV. The HODship, the vice chancellor is the alpha and omega of the university.
Of course.
There's a senate in the university. There's also a council. Now, if the vice chancellor has a reasonable number of the senate members to himself, a lot of his policies will work. Now, just like Bola Tinubu have the senate.
So you can't take
that is why most of these policies are working, but we are not disputing that because he's the president in power. If ADC president is in power, if the president what we are saying is when you want to do your politics, the Odoro politics that is known of all Nigerian politicians, do it to some sanity. That is what we are saying. Let that provision be determined by political parties. Not you determine for me.
Oh.
Because the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2012, the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2015, the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu before the
Yes,
we know who he was.
I think the
Yes,
delegate issue in election in political party is breeding godfatherism.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you,
That
sir.
is your own. That is your
Thank you,
own.
sir.
Now I know where your philosophy is coming from.
Ọ̀gá sọ pé it has to go.
I now know
Thank
where
you,
your
sir.
philosophy is coming from. Dr. Laifa,
I know where you're coming from.
I know where Dr. Laifa
I know where you're coming from.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And this is how much we can take this morning. I want to thank my guest. I want to thank my tech Dr. Olaifa from Alkimo University, Dr. Capri Gesbit from University of Ilorin. We've been looking at the signing of the electoral bill law with a lot of controversies around it. Thank you so much, Dr. Guest. I want to quickly add, as Nigerians, remain patriotic. And remember, you have a stakeholder to make Nigeria a better society. Go for your PVC. I'm saying it again. Not the messenger, but just listen to the message. Get your PVC. My name is Bukola Omoshewo. Good morning.
Even
ilé ìtẹ̀sọ̀ yẹn náà.
Ẹ ti dá mẹ́tì.